Reykjavik boasts an incredible variety of museums spanning Viking history, cutting-edge modern art, natural science, and highly eccentric niche exhibitions. Among the museums to visit in Reykjavik include the National Museum of Iceland, the Icelandic Philological Museum, the Whales of Iceland, and Perland. The Lava Show is the only live exhibition in the world where you can safely stand just meters away from real roaring molten lava. It's a must-see attraction located in the trendy Grandi Harbor area right next to the Whales of Iceland and Flyover Iceland. Viewing Northern Lights from Reykjavik is highly practical if you choose locations that naturally buffer the city's light pollution or head just beyond the suburban borders. If you aren't renting a car, you can book a guided tour from a designated bus stop pickup point organized by local large operators. In this vlog, I'll be talking about museums to visit in Reykjavik, the Lava Show, and Northern Lights hunting. To get to Perland, take City Bus Route 18 from the Helmer Central Hub, which stops right at the base of the hill. The Perland is Reykjavik's premier interactive nature museum and one of the city's most recognizable architectural icons. Perched atop the forested oak Justholio Hill, the striking glass dome is built directly over 6 massive hot water storage tanks that supply the capital. It offers a high-tech multi-sensory immersion into the natural forces shaping Iceland. Core exhibitions and experiences in Perland include the Ice Cave, Aurora Planetarium Show, Latra Bird Cliff, and Forces of Nature. The Ice Cave is a 100-meter-long indoor glacial tunnel built from over 350 tons of real mountain stone. It's kept at a chilling -10 degrees Celsius, so you can touch real glacial ice walls. The Aurora Planetarium Show is a world-class planetarium theater using crisp 8K and immersive surround sound to simulate dancing northern lights. The Bird Cliff is a towering 10-meter-high life-sized replica of one of Europe's highest largest nesting seabird cliff, complete with realistic puffin models. Forces of Nature has highly interactive touch screens, simulators, and digital displays tracking Iceland's volcanoes, earthquakes, tectonic plates, and melting glaciers. There's much to do at the Perland Museum, including dining, stunning, spectacular 360-degree views from the observation deck. Encircling the entire exterior of the rim, it offers unobstructed panoramic views of the city, Flaxfoy Bay, and distant mountains. The Glass Dome restaurant and cafe is located on the top floor right beneath the transparent ceiling. You can enjoy local soups, paninis, and pastries while watching the ever-changing Icelandic sky. There's also a popular homemade ice cream parlor on the 4th floor. The surrounding parkland features quiet walking paths slicing through pine trees with remnants of World War II bunkers. The Wonders of Iceland ticket includes all exhibitions, ice caves, and the 360-degree deck. Admission costs 7,090 ISK per adult and 5,090 ISK per child, ages 5 to 12. If directly purchased online, children under 5 enter for free. The museum is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Last entry is typically 1 hour before closing. Budget roughly 1.5 to 2.5 hours to thoroughly enjoy all exhibitions, catch the planetarium show, and walk the deck. The Icelandic Philological Museum is a globally unique institution housing the world's largest biological collection of male anatomy parts, located in downtown Reykjavik at the modern Half-Nortorg Square. This family-friendly museum presents a lighthearted yet genuinely scientific and educational approach to comparative anatomy. The museum contains over 300 specimens representing more than 100 species of mammals, ranging from a massive 1.7 meter sperm whale to tiny 2 millimeter hamster. Noteworthy exhibitions and highlights include the sperm whale specimen, the folklore section, pop culture cast, and the Olympic handball tribute. The largest physical specimen in the gallery is the sperm whale specimen, displaying the massive preservative tube, serving as a highly popular photo spot. The folklore section features 22 specialized artistic representations dedicated to creatures from traditional Icelandic sagas, including trolls, elves, and mermaids. Pop culture casts include a bronze plaster cast collection celebrating cultural figures, most notably a historical tribute to musician Jimi Hendrix. A collection of silver casts commemorating the entire Icelandic national handball team is on display that won silver medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. General admission for adults costs 2,750 ISK. Children aged 13 and under enter for free when accompanied by an adult. Museum is open daily from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. year-round. It's a relatively small, dense gallery. Most guests spend roughly 30 to 45 minutes exploring the exhibits. National Museum of Iceland sits directly adjacent to the University of Iceland campus, a brief 10 to 15 minute walk southwest of the downtown pond. The National Museum of Iceland is the definitive cultural authority on the country's history, tracing the evolution from 9th century Viking longships to 21st century modern life. Spanning 3 floors, the museum balances ancient physical artifacts with multimedia displays and hand-on interactive stations. The permanent exhibition on the making of a nation spans the entire 2nd and 3rd floors, the flagship exhibition of the museum. It features over 2,000 carefully curated artifacts split across major historical milestones, ranging from the settlement age through the Commonwealth era to the Foreign Rule and Reformation to the modern gateway. The Settlement Age exhibition focuses on the pagan Norsemen who sailed across the Atlantic. Displays feature authentic skeleton remains, intricate silver jewelry, chainmail armor, and Viking swords pulled straight from early burial mounds. The Commonwealth era tracks the year 930 AD, foundation of the Althing Parliament and Iceland's collective conversion to Christianity. The Foreign Rule and Reformation documents the centuries of complex Norwegian and Danish crown rule leading into the early modern era. Unmissable collection highlights include Era Land Statue, Foster Church Door, and Aurora Bible. The Ireland statue is a tiny, priceless bronze figurine dating back to 1000 AD. It is widely believed to depict the Norse god Thor holding his hammer and is one of the world's most famous surviving remnant of Norse pagan worship. The Foster Church Door is a majestic 12th century carved pine door. It's intricately detailed with dynamic reliefs telling a medieval tale of a brave knight saving a lion from a dragon, and it features the only surviving runic script carved directly onto a Icelandic door. The Gjallarhorn Bible is the historic first complete translation of the Bible printed in the Icelandic language, dated 1584, pivotal in preserving the purity of the native tongue. Admission fees cost 3,300 ISK per adult. Entry is 100% free for children under 18 and guests with disability. The museum is open daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Note that during winter season from September 16th to April 30th, the museum is closed strictly on Mondays. Budget between 1.5 to 2.5 hours for a visit. Tucked inside the trendy Grandi Harbor District, the Whales of Iceland sits directly next to the lava show and fly over Iceland, making it easy to hit 3 major indoor activities back to back. A flat, scenic 20-minute from the downtown harbor area. Whales of Iceland is Europe's largest whale museum, housing an incredible cavernous showroom filled with 23 life-sized hand-painted models of the whale species found in the Icelandic waters. The museum relies on soft atmospheric blue lighting, deep-sea soundscapes, and soft-to-the-touch polymer models to simulate the serene experience of walking along the ocean floor alongside these marine giants. Core exhibitions and experiences in the museum include the giant models, fin whale theater, live guided tours, and interactive VR stations. The main exhibit features a massive 25-meter blue whale model that spans the length of the hall, alongside full-scale replicas of sperm whales, humpbacks, minke whales, and a pod of killer whales. The Fin Whale Theater is a dedicated screening room showing the award-winning 60-minute documentary Sonic Sea 4 times daily. The film explores the profound impact of industrial shipping and noise pollution on whale communication. Expert museum educators lead tours daily at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Interactive touchscreens and virtual reality headsets let visitors examine whale skeletal structures and dive into simulated ecosystems. A standard adult entry ticket costs 4,300 ISK. Youth tickets ages 7 to 15 cost 2,150 ISK. Children 7 and under are completely free. A special family pass covering 2 adults and 2 children is available for roughly 9,700 ISK. The museum is open daily year-round from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Budget approximately 1 to 1.5 hour to complete the tour. The Sea Combo is a ticket combo you should consider booking for a Whales of Iceland Land and Sea Combo. Pairs the museum along with a 3-hour live whale watching boat tour out in Faxa Floy Bay. Make the most of your time in Reykjavik with an easy-to-use city card. Enjoy free entrance to all of the city's museums, along with 8 geothermal pools. Travel from attraction to attraction for free with unlimited access to the buses. Experience the vibrant cultural scene and the stunning natural landscape of Iceland's stunning capital. Use my link to purchase your Reykjavik city card using GetYourGuide. Buy tickets to Perland, Wonders of Iceland. Includes admission to all Perland's exhibitions and shows and access to the observation deck. Situated in the harbor area right next to the whales of Iceland, it dives deep into the history of global Icelandic volcanism and highlights the recent ongoing eruptions on the Reykjavik Peninsula. Features a modern, larger layout offering a premium ticket tier, which unlocks access to a VIP lounge, a free drink, an exclusive pre-show video, and private upper balcony viewing deck. Daily shows run at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 8 p.m. The Classic Experience ticket costs 6,590 ISK per adult 13 and up and 3,590 ISK per child 5 through 12. Each show runs approximately 50 to 55 minutes. Protective safety goggles are provided to all guests without glasses to protect from intense infrared heat radiating from the liquid rocks. The Reykjavik show has a strict minimum age requirement of 5 years old. The Lava Show is a highly acclaimed live exhibition that recreates a volcanic eruption indoors by superheating real authentic lava to 1,100 degrees Celsius. Guests stand just meters away to hear the intense sizzle, smell the melting minerals, and feel the powerful radiating heat in a safe environment.
Iceland has 30 active volcanic systems, of which 20 have erupted since the settlement of Iceland over 1,000 years ago. There are two main reasons why Iceland has so much volcanic activity. First, Iceland is sitting right on top of a powerful magma plume that continuously pushes magma towards the surface. Magma plumes are sometimes referred to as hot spots, and in Iceland, the example, is nestled right below Grímsvötn, the most active volcano in Iceland. The other reason for Iceland's intense volcanic activity is because of the mid-Atlantic ridge, cut right through the island. The ridge consists of two tectonic plates that are steadily moving away from each other, about 2.5 centimeters per year. These tectonic movements leave cracks in Earth's crust that make it easier for the magma to reach the surface. The magma plume below Iceland and the mid-Atlantic ridge make Iceland one of the most volcanically active places on the planet. There are only two natural phenomena that can result in an extinction rate catastrophe. One is a large meteor hitting the Earth, similar to what happened 65 million years ago, leading to the demise of the dinosaurs. Thankfully, we have not been in any real danger from another apocalyptic meteor crash since then. However, the possibility still remains. The only other natural disaster that could lead to an extinction rate catastrophe is a violent eruption of a so-called supervolcano. There are 6 known supervolcanoes on Earth, and Yellowstone is undoubtedly the most famous one. Yellowstone last erupted 640,000 years ago, and the direct impact zone covered more than half North America. But what are the odds of a supervolcano going off in our lifetime? Scientists say that it's not likely, but even if we don't have to worry about a supervolcano erupting, there are still about 50 volcanoes actively erupting in the world at any given moment. In order to understand the most catastrophic volcanic eruptions in Icelandic history, let's go on a journey back in time to the year 870. This was when the Nordic Vikings decided to face the open sea in search of new land. They ventured further west than anyone had ever gone before. Days turned into weeks, and the vast ocean seemed endless. Just as they were about to lose all hope, the ravens opened their wings and flew away. That could only mean one thing: land was near. As they sailed closer, they could see rocky hills covered with moss and birch trees. There were no people in sight, and it didn't take long for the Vikings to settle down and build their new homes. With time, people learned to live with the harsh weather conditions and the dominating raw nature. Over the next decades, more settlers arrived that were welcomed with open arms. Fire cannon and no wind. The Earth was ripped apart in a 75-kilometer-long fissure in what is still today the largest volcanic canyon on Earth. The Eldgjá eruption lasted for 4 years, and it produced the greatest amount of lava in historic time. The volume of lava covered more than 800 square kilometers of land, which is equivalent to the entire Reykjavik peninsula being swallowed by land. The Eldgjá eruption marked an end of an era where settlers came to Iceland. From then on, everyone was warned from setting sail to the hellish island of ice and fire. This was made immortal in a famous poem called Roomies. The volcano was surrounded by fertile grazing lands, which supported at least 40 farms in an area formerly known as Litla Hérath, or Little Shire. One day, out of the blue, the top of the volcano exploded in a massive eruption, bringing about a deadly pyroclastic flow made up of gas and volcanic ash at 1,000 degrees Celsius, traveling down the volcano 700 kilometers an hour, killing every living being in the area. This eruption was such a devastating event that the whole surrounding area became a lifeless wasteland for years to come, which led to a new name of the volcano, Reykjavik, the volcano of ruined wasteland. In the fall of 1783, the Reykjavik eruption began. The Reykjavik eruption consisted of a 25-kilometer-long fissure lined with 130 craters. Although the eruption did not turn out to be quite as enormous as the Reykjavik eruption 850 years earlier, human societies had developed a lot since the 900s, and events of this scale were now recorded in much greater detail. Massive clouds of poisonous hydrofluoric acid and sulfur dioxide clouded the northern hemisphere for years. It caused a global drop in temperatures of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius and led to a devastating drop in quality of life in many areas of the world.
Created by lava bursting up from the glacier.
The massive ash plume that rose many kilometers into the atmosphere brought air traffic in Europe to a standstill for a whole week. More than half the volcanoes in Iceland are covered by glaciers, and whenever lava gets in contact with ice, it results in violent explosions that fractures the lava into superfine particles that rise high into the air and can ignite the engines of airplanes. Not a risk you would like to take. After 800 years of sleep with no volcanic activity, the Reykjanes Peninsula has awakened yet again, beginning what geologists call a new era in Icelandic volcanic history. It all began with the eruption in Fagradalsfjall in 2021. Since then, Fagradalsfjall has erupted several times without any harm to people or infrastructure due to its convenient location in the Reykjanes Highlands, situated 30 kilometers from the capital area and 15 kilometers from the Keflavik International Airport. The eruptions in Fagradalsfjall marked the beginning of a new active period on the peninsula. But the Fagradalsfjall volcanic system is only one of 5 volcanic systems on the Reykjanes Peninsula.
Turning the dream into a physical reality required years of failure and stubborn grit though. When the founders started out, they had absolutely no technical background in industrial smelting. They playfully admitted that ignorance was bliss. If they had known how incredibly dangerous and difficult it would be, they would have never attempted it. When a real volcanic eruption happens, the greatest hazard isn't actually the lava, it's the toxic sulfur and carbon gases trapped inside. The genius of the lava shows rock is that because it is over a century old, it has been superheated and recycled over and over again, and has been entirely degassed. This makes it perfectly safe to pour right in front of an audience in an indoor theater. The initial idea for this show was born in spring of 2010, the Fimbulkul's eruption, the tourist-friendly fissure eruption that immediately preceded the infamous airspace grounding Aviasales eruption. Julius and his wife and co-founder Ragnhildur Agnarsdóttir hiked out into the freezing Icelandic night to see fissure firsthand. They stood in awe, watching a 200-meter high glowing lava fall cascade over a mountain cliffside. Mesmerized by the sight and sound and the heat, they had a crazy thought. This natural wonder will soon be over. What if everyone could have this exact multi-sensory experience safely, all year round, without having to hike a dangerous volcano? While the show focuses heavily on geology, it also pays homage to the supernatural folklore of the South Coast. According to local medieval legend, Katla was a fierce, hot-tempered witch who worked as a cook at a monastery nearby Vik and possessed magical trousers that allowed her to run without ever being tired. When a local shepherd boy borrowed her trousers without asking, Katla offered him in a fit of rage and hid his body inside a massive vat of sheep's whey. When she realized the monks were about to discover her crime, she fled the monastery, fled up the mountains, and threw herself into a deep canyon in the Miradol Skull Glacier. Not long after, a devastating flood and eruption burst from the ice. Ever since, locals have attributed the volcano's violent outburst to the furious fairy witch trapped beneath the glacier. Get close to real lava with an entry ticket to the award-winning lava show in Reykjavik. Experience the intense heat that radiates off red-hot molten lava as a real volcanic eruption is recreated. Learn in the most entertaining geology class you can attend and feel the heat from the lava in a sensory-loaded experience. Get your immersive experience entry ticket to the lava show in Reykjavik through GetYourGuide. Successful Northern Lights hunting from Reykjavik depends entirely on three main conditions: complete darkness, clear skies, and active solar storms. Because the capital experiences heavy light pollution, your best strategy is to target the dark coastal edges of the city peninsula. Monitor real-time weather forecasts or use guided transport to escape the city limits entirely. If you want to stay within the Reykjavik city limits without paying for a guided tour, these locations offer the darkest skies and the best open horizons. Grata Island Lighthouse, the absolute best in-city location, located at the westernmost tip of the Seltjarnarnes Peninsula, a 10-minute drive or 45-minute walk from downtown. It faces the open Atlantic Ocean, providing a perfectly dark northern horizon. Lagernes Peninsula, a historic, slightly elevated coastal mound just east of the city harbor. It's highly popular because it allows you to watch the aurora dance directly above the historical Imagine Peace Tower. Leo Hill by Perland, the heavily forested hill surrounding the Perland Dome, provides elevated vantage points and darker clearings right inside the city center. The Sculpture and Shore Walk is another popular spot to view Northern Lights. A long, continuous seaside walking path running from the Harpa Concert Hall past the Sun Voyager sculpture. It looks straight out across the dark Faxaflói Bay towards Mount Esja, creating an excellent viewing window if a solar storm hits. If you have a rental car, driving just a short distance out of suburban Reykjavik drastically increases the vibrancy and crispness of the lights. Here are a few spots within 45 minutes. Heomork Natural Reserve, Þingvellir National Park, and Lake Kleifarvatn. Heomork National Reserve is situated on the southeastern edge of the capital area. Its vast expanses of raw lava fields and pine forests are far removed from residential lights. Þingvellir National Park, located 45 minutes east along the Golden Circle, it provides completely pitch black skies and dramatic rift valleys for spectacular photographic backdrops. Lake Kleifarvatn is located 35 minutes south on the volcanic Reykjanes Peninsula. The towering pitch-black mountain blocks out the capital's glow entirely, leaving a crystal-clear sky mirrored on the dark water. Self-driving gives you the ultimate freedom. Change plans on a whim and wait out the skies from the warmth of your car. Always check SafeTravel Iceland before venturing out to monitor winter road safety and closures. If you prefer not to navigate dark, icy roads, booking a tour with operators like Rayline or Reykjavik Excursions is highly effective. Expert guides actively monitor real-time weather data and alter their routes dynamically to find clear skies. Large bus tours are best for travelers on a budget. These tours use standard 40 to 60 seat highway coaches. They are the most common and affordable way to hunt the lights. You travel in a large group to spacious, easily accessible parking lots outside the city. The pros to this, it is the cheapest option. Coaches are warm and comfortable, and they almost always offer a free re-entry voucher if the lights don't appear. The cons, boarding and unloading takes time, you're surrounded by crowds, and large buses cannot navigate small, rugged backcountry roads to escape other tourists. Small group and minibus tours is best for overall balance. These tours typically cap their passenger counts between 15 and 19 people. The experience is more intimate and allows for a more agile hunt. Minibuses can turn around quickly and pull into tight scenic lookouts and change locations fast if clouds move in. The pros, guides give you highly personalized attention, help you set up your camera or phone settings, and often provide complimentary hot chocolate and Icelandic snacks. Cons, it's slightly more expensive than the large bus tours, and popular dates book out weeks in advance. Northern Lights cruises is best for comfort and unique views. These tours depart directly from Reykjavik Old Harbor and sail out into the dark waters of Faxaflói Bay. You hunt for the lights from the deck of a ship, watching the green bands reflect off the ocean water with the city lights glowing faintly in the distance. Pros, there's no driving on icy roads. You can sit inside a heated cabin with a bar and cafe until the lights appear, and there is no walking involved. Cons, ships can move with the waves, making long exposure tripod photography incredibly difficult and blurry. You are also confined to the bay and cannot drive away if clouds sit directly above the ocean. Four golden rules for booking. Book for your very first night, so if the tour gets canceled due to bad weather or you don't see the lights, you can use your free re-entry voucher. Check the cancellation policy, look for photos included, and confirm the pickup details. My Aurora Forecast is the best app for seeing the northern lights. Built with a sleek, dark design, it appeals to both tourists and serious aurora watchers, telling you what you need to know, whether it is exactly how likely you are to see the aurora borealis or details about the solar winds and high-resolution sun imagery. With this app, you'll see the northern lights in no time. The Northern Lights draw hopeful travelers from across the world to Iceland, but knowing how to boost your chances of the best sightings requires skill, practice, and a bit of luck. On this Northern Lights bus tour, enjoy round-trip travel from your hotel in Reykjavik and head out into the Icelandic countryside with your experienced guide. Use my link to book your Northern Lights tour from Reykjavik through Viator. Visiting museums in Reykjavik is the single best way to make sense of Iceland's extreme landscapes, survivalist culture, and quirky modern identity. Because the country's history and nature are so deeply intertwined, the museums here act as a vital manual for understanding everything you see outside the city limits. Icelandic weather is famously unpredictable and can turn violently rainy, windy, or snowy in a matter of minutes. Having a solid list of indoor museums gives you a perfect high-utility backup plan. They keep you completely warm, entertained, and educated on days when driving out to the countryside is unsafe or impossible. Hunting for northern lights is a bucket list experience because it's a rare, unpredictable natural phenomenon that offers a profound connection to the cosmos. Unlike static landmarks, an aurora display is a live, dynamic performance that can never be replicated exactly the same way twice. In my next vlog, I'll be visiting the Golden Circle and the Current Crater,